All right, this device is called a chrono clean, and this is a watch parts cleaner. It's basically a manually operated version of the ones that professionals use. The ones that professionals buy have electric motors to turn the device, and this one's hand cranked. But the ones that professionals use cost several $1,000s, and this one only costs $150. The way it works basically is that the jar at the bottom is actually an ordinary mason jar. It's a 16-ounce wide mouth style one, and you put the chemicals in these jars. It only comes with one of them, so you're going to need to buy more because there's 3 different chemicals we're going to use. But you put the chemical in the jar, and then inside here are 3 little wire mesh baskets that you put all the parts in. They stack on top of each other inside that little cage there. And then you screw the top on after dropping the parts into the chemical bath, and then you just turn the crank. And you do that for about 5 minutes with each chemical. The first chemical we use is the actual cleaning chemical, and then the second and third bath are both a rinsing agent, which is basically a chemical that removes the cleaning chemical. And we do 2 different baths of the same thing to ensure that the parts are completely clean of the cleaning chemical. The reason for that being that the cleaning chemical is destructive to the lubricants that were used for watches. So if any traces of that remain on the parts, when we re-lubricate the watch, any of that residue could damage the lubricant and make the watch not properly lubricated. So it's important to have that fully cleaned off. So we do the cleaner first, then we do a rinse, and then we put it into a second jar of rinse. And then after that, then we can dry the parts. And we dry the parts using a handheld hairdryer set on a low temperature, because the rinse will dry on its own if you don't use a hairdryer. But sometimes it can leave a bit of residue itself if you don't use something to blow air on it to encourage it to dry faster. And so we're going to use a handheld hairdryer for that. Some watchmakers use food dehydrators, which apparently work really well as well. But those can be pretty expensive. They're a couple $100s, and the hairdryer cost me $15. So we're going to go with that to start and see how that works out. I have all my parts in the Chrono Clean baskets. There are 3 baskets. The first one is just one large basket for big parts like the base plate of the movement. The second basket has 4 compartments for medium-sized parts, and then the last basket has lots of small compartments for really tiny parts. And these stack up on top of each other inside the cage that goes inside the Chrono Clean. There's also a lid that goes across the top of the one on the top of the stack to keep the stuff in there from flying up out of it. So once I get this all put together into the Chrono Clean, then we're ready to start the actual chemical process of cleaning the parts.